I'll have a, no. Oh, maybe, no. I'll have, no. Oh, maybe.
Are you planning on ordering today, sir?
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
How original.
And with extra onions.
Daring today, aren't we? One Krabby Patty, extra onion.
It is 106 degrees right now. That's what, 42 degrees Celsius. I had to turn my fan off in order to record this, so let's make it quick before I die of heat exhaustion. One of my favorite things about LTX was seeing all of the incredible computers that people brought to the Bring Your Own Computer. Let's take a look at some of the unique computers at LTX 2023 and the even more unique stories behind them. See if I can get it all in frame. That's good enough. All right, I'm here at the Wayland LTX with Robert.
I kind of got it. I'm not gonna say I got it cool when it was. All right, I got it before it was cool. Yeah. I think I built the system. I want to say early 2018, so it hadn't been around for a super long time by then. But really attracted it to me was before this I was in like an old Corsair Obsidian something or other. It was one of those ones where
weren't they like huge?
Well, no, it was one of the lower end ones.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
it was like you could actually order it, and it was like it was one of those cases where you'd order it and you choose like, do you want the red RGB, like not
right.
RGB fans, like the red LED fans or something like that. Originally, this system when it was first built had an AMD stock cooler with a 2700X, 16 gigs of HyperX RAM that was not validated for it, so I had to run it at like 2800 or 2700.
Okay.
And then R9 390.
Okay.
And the R9 390 is actually what's kind of special. Unfortunately, It's no longer with the system. Times change, drivers, go out of date.
Right.
The R9 390 in that system actually came from the system just before this, which was in Corsair Obsidian or whatever. I forget what was the exact model. But it was actually a system I built with my dad. And I lost him to cancer like actually less than a year after building that system, which I don't mean to make it a downer. This isn't like a super sad story, but it's a really important part of where I started. LMG is actually the reason I got into computer hardware, and it was because of them I was able to have that opportunity with them. What ended up happening is before this 2070 Super, I had a 1070, and before the 1070 I had the R9 390. And what happened is when I built this system, I grabbed the R9 390, I grabbed the RAM, and it was pretty I kept the only new parts were power supply, case, motherboard, CPU, and RAM.
That's good.
Everything else was transfer over, storage, all that.
Yeah.
But then later down the road, my friend upgraded his 1070. He said, "Hey man, thanks for doing the radio. Would you like to use my 1070 since I have a system to use it in?"
Wow, that's
so
very
this
nice of him.
This is a story how I've literally never bought a GPU in my life.
Wow.
Hey, do you want to use my 1070? Hey.
So what, have you used 3 GPUs in your lifetime now? Is that what we're at?
Well, I had an HD 7850 before that, in a system that my dad built for me before I could figure out, how to log into a computer.
Maybe his first computer.
Yeah. So then what happened is a little bit down the road, I'm using this 1070, and I go out to my nephew's place, and I do a bunch of work for his friend, helping him with the system. He had a actually faulty GPU, and he tried everything other than RMA in the GPU. Fun fact, he had more money than sense. Sorry, man, if you're watching this. He bought 2 2070 Supers and had planned to SLI them.
Oh, boy.
And so...
what year was this? Had it already been dead by then?
This, I think, was
2020,
2021.
Okay,
so it was like 20...
Kind of hanging
30
on.
series hadn't come out yet.
Right, all right.
Actually, no, this was probably pre-COVID, now I think about it, because 30 series hadn't come out yet. I get a call 6 months later, "Hey man, you still interested in a 2070 Super?"
Had he upgraded and he was passing it down then?
Yeah, so he got, I think it was a 3070 something.
Okay.
And that's how I ended up with this.
I would have guessed it's a 30 series car. I didn't know they made 20s this large.
Yeah, It's like
27.
it's like the super tricked out ROG Strix,
Beautiful.
like OC. Unfortunately, right now one of the fans is going out on the rear end of it here. You can actually
Okay.
see it starting and stopping.
Yeah.
It's actually this line here on the case. If it comes through on the video,
Right.
that's the bearing fluid. So fun fact, yeah,
It's leaking.
it threw up its bearing fluid on this
Oh, I'm
end
gonna
there.
get a shot of that. That's
So
interesting.
yeah, and I can
Wow.
show it to you later. Also, fun fact: this Corsair RGB memory has
Yeah.
bleached the back plate where the lighting. You can't see it because it's literally right where the lighting hits the back plate, but it's turned blonde on the back
Holy
plate. I'll turn
crap.
it off and like so you can actually see
Sure,
it later.
yeah, you can.
But it's some really funny kooky crap in here. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't know if there's anything necessarily else to say.
No, sir. Okay, so I didn't even ask for your name. What's your name?
Jacob.
Jacob. Nice to meet you, Jacob. I'm Nathan. So tell me, this is a project. When did you start? When did the idea pop in your head? I want to build a computer in an iMac.
So I saw this guy with the box
Yeah.
at local recycler down in Seattle. And they had a couple of them, and this one didn't work, had a dead motherboard.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people do mods with them, so I was like, that sounds like
the
fun,
idea.
let's make it happen.
Wow. Did you originally try and do like a full ITX computer, or did you know?
Yeah, I had some ITX motherboards
Yeah.
that I tried. I've seen people do the builds, but usually when they do it, they like grind out all the original mounting inside of it. So I wanted to do something that actually fit, and a NUC squeezed in about the same size as the CD drive that used to be in it.
I see.
So catted some brackets and
Yeah.
made it actually fits in there and mounts in there without ruining the shell.
Wow.
I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And then, how did you connect the screen for the iMac to the NUC?
So it uses a DVI cable. It's DVI
Okay.
signaling, same set of wires, but the plug is super weird. So chop it off, solder it onto an HDMI breakout.
Wow, is that what you did?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
super tiny little wires.
Right.
It was a few tries, but it was worth it. It worked out really good.
All right. Thanks so much. And then I like your picture frame as well.
Thanks. It's what the heck is it called? The looking glass
Interesting.
portrait thing.
Hi, my name is Jacob Canali.
Nice to meet you. So I noticed it. I especially like the blue accents. Blue because of water, I'm assuming.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
There's not actually any water in there, right?
No,
It's
so
air-cooled?
it is actually, there's a story behind this computer, and it's tied into Linus Tech Tips.
Oh.
About 8 years ago, Linus and Luke built this exact computer as a mineral oil cooled PC,
Right.
and it worked, and then it started leaking, and it went through the warehouse of LTT for a while, and eventually they just ended up getting rid of it. So they got rid of it to some dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he ended up not doing anything with it, so he sold it to me for some Canadian pesos.
Wow.
So I ended up buying this, and it was at the time filled with not filled, but it had mineral oil in it, and it was leaking very, very badly. So what I ended up doing, there was no way I could fix the actual case, and Puget Systems, who makes these cases, they don't make any more. So the only option I had to really keep it in the way it is to air cool it.
Yeah.
So I pulled out a hole saw and I drilled some holes in the side, which was painful yet fun.
Yeah.
I did my best to keep, and if you can look up Linus Tech Tips mineral oil computer, and this will show up, I did my best to keep the main aesthetic of the computer. All the parts are original except for the RAM, which I had to get low profile RAM, and the CPU fans because there were no CPU fans. But other than that, everything else in this computer, including the rocks, including the little Titanic boat and the castle, are original. I have added some whales due to whale land, but apart from that, it's all there.
That's amazing. Yeah, when I came up to you, I didn't even know the history behind it, but I remember they built a mineral oil PC, but that's incredible. So you're the third owner now?
I am the third owner. So Luke came over and he liked it. Linus came
that's
over
awesome.
and I don't know if he was just getting ready to roast me, but he seemed indifferent. Understandable. I did take what was a piece of art and kind of, ruin it. But in my opinion, it's the best way to preserve it. Of course, other people will say otherwise, but it is just a cool computer too, and I'm happy with it, and I'm happy to be able to bring it to LTX and to share it with you guys. And it's my
very nice
pride
looking.
and joy, pretty
Very
much.
unified.
Yeah.
Today, we took a look at just a few of the many incredible computers that were on show at LTX. This is probably my favorite part of being a PC hobbyist. Computers aren't just tools or extension of a hobby, they're vessels for life experiences and memories that don't really go away. I'd like to thank Robert, both Jacobs, Noah, and Alex for allowing me to film, and I apologize if stuff got cut from the final video. But I have quite a bit left over, so if there was ever to be an extended cut, I'd need someone to let me know if they'd want that or not. I'm super fond of obscure and interesting technology such as what we saw today, so if you're interested in seeing more stuff like this, maybe not computer related, but technology in general, then please get subscribed or share with someone who you might think would be interested. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.